What if the way you start your morning could completely change the direction of your life? Today, choose to trust beyond what you see and step into a day led by purpose, not pressure. There is a way that seems right to a man, but the end of it leads to confusion, frustration, and limitation. And that is exactly why this message matters. Because every single morning you are standing at a crossroads. You can either trust your own limited understanding, or you can align yourself with a higher wisdom that sees beyond what you can see. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That is not just a verse, it is a strategy for life. You see, most people wake up and immediately begin to depend on what they feel, what they think, what they see. But feelings fluctuate, thoughts can be biased, and what you see is often incomplete. When you lean only on your own understanding, you are building your life on something unstable. And anything unstable will eventually collapse under pressure. Trusting beyond your own understanding is one of the most difficult, yet transformative decisions you can ever make. As human beings, we are naturally wired to depend on what we can see, calculate, and control. We want answers before we take action, clarity before commitment, and certainty before movement. But life does not always operate within the boundaries of our logic. There are moments when your knowledge is not enough, your experience falls short, and your perspective becomes limited. In those moments, if you rely only on your own understanding, you will find yourself stuck in hesitation, fear, and doubt. True growth begins when you step beyond that limitation and choose to trust even when things don't make sense. Trusting beyond your understanding means you are no longer confined to your current level of awareness. It means you accept that there is a greater wisdom at work, that sees what you cannot see and understands what you cannot comprehend. This kind of trust requires courage because it challenges your need for control. It pushes you to move forward without having every detail figured out. It demands that you silence the voice of fear and elevate the voice of faith. When you operate from your own understanding alone, you tend to overanalyze every situation. You replay scenarios in your mind, trying to predict outcomes and avoid failure. But overthinking often leads to paralysis, not progress. Trust, on the other hand, creates movement. It gives you the confidence to take steps even when the path is unclear. It allows you to act with assurance, knowing that you are being guided in ways you may not fully grasp yet. There is also a sense of peace that comes with this level of trust. When you stop trying to figure everything out, you release the burden of having all the answers. You begin to rest in the confidence that your life is not dependent solely on your ability to understand every detail. Instead of being overwhelmed by uncertainty, you become strengthened by it because you know uncertainty is not the absence of direction. It is often the space where growth and breakthroughs are formed. Trusting beyond your understanding does not mean abandoning wisdom or ignoring responsibility. It means recognizing your limits while embracing a higher source of guidance. It means doing your part while remaining open to direction that goes beyond your reasoning. When you live this way, you stop being restricted by what you know and start being elevated by what you believe. And in that shift, you unlock a level of confidence, resilience, and purpose that cannot be shaken by circumstances. Total trust is a decision that goes beyond words. It is a posture of the heart. Many people claim to trust, but what they actually practice is partial trust. They trust when things are going well, when outcomes are predictable, and when life aligns with their expectations. But the moment uncertainty appears, fear takes over, and they begin to pull back, trying to regain control. Partial trust is unstable because it is conditional. It depends on circumstances, emotions, and visible results. And anything that depends on changing conditions will always produce inconsistency. When you commit to total trust, you remove conditions. You are no longer saying, I will trust as long as I understand, or I will trust as long as things work in my favor. Instead, you are declaring, I will trust regardless of what I see, feel, or experience. That level of trust creates stability within you, even when everything around you feels uncertain. It anchors your thoughts, calms your emotions, and strengthens your decisions. Total trust is not blind. It is confident. It is rooted in the belief that there is a greater plan unfolding, even when you cannot fully trace it. Partial trust creates internal conflict. One part of you wants to move forward in faith, while another part is held back by doubt. This inner division leads to hesitation, second guessing, and missed opportunities. You may start something with confidence, but because your trust is incomplete, you quickly become discouraged when challenges arise. You begin to question your path, your decisions, and even your purpose. That is the weakness of partial trust. It cannot sustain you under pressure. Total trust, on the other hand, produces endurance. It allows you to remain steady in difficult moments because your confidence is not tied to immediate outcomes. You understand that setbacks are not signs to quit but opportunities to grow. Instead of reacting emotionally to every obstacle, you respond with assurance. You continue moving forward, knowing that progress is still happening even when it is not immediately visible. There is also a sense of freedom that comes with total trust. When you fully commit, you release the constant need to control every detail. You stop overanalyzing every decision and worrying about every possible outcome. This does not mean you become careless. It means you become focused. Your energy is no longer wasted on fear and doubt, but directed toward purpose and action. You operate with clarity because your mind is not divided. Living with total trust transforms the way you approach life. You become bold in your decisions, consistent in your actions, and resilient in your challenges. You no longer shrink back when things get difficult because your trust is not temporary, it is complete. And when your trust is complete, your life gains a sense of direction, peace, and strength that cannot be easily shaken by circumstances. Starting your day with alignment is one of the most powerful habits you can develop because it determines the direction, quality, and outcome of everything that follows. Every morning before the noise of the world reaches you, there is a small window of time where your mind is clear, your spirit is receptive, and your focus is still unshaped. What you do in that window matters more than most people realize. If you begin your day scattered, distracted, and reactive, you will spend the rest of your day trying to recover. But if you begin your day aligned, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, step into your day with clarity, confidence, and control. Naiman means bringing your thoughts, your intentions, and your actions into agreement with purpose. It is not just about waking up early or following a routine. It is about setting the foundation of your mindset before anything else influences it. Many people wake up and immediately reach for their phones, allowing messages, notifications, and external pressures to dictate their mood and direction. Without realizing it, they surrender control of their day before it even begins. But when you choose alignment, you take that control back. You decide what will shape your thoughts, what will guide your decisions, and what will define your attitude. When you start your day with alignment, you create clarity. Instead of moving through your day confused or overwhelmed, you move with intention. You know what matters, and you focus your energy accordingly. This clarity reduces stress because you are not constantly reacting to everything around you. You are operating from a place of purpose rather than pressure. Alignment also strengthens your emotional stability. Challenges will still come, but they will not easily shake you because you have already grounded yourself before facing them. There is also a level of discipline required to maintain this alignment. It requires you to be intentional about what you allow into your mind first thing in the morning. It may mean choosing silence over noise, reflection over distraction, and focus over urgency. These small decisions may seem insignificant in the moment, but they create a powerful ripple effect throughout your entire day. When your mind is aligned early, your actions follow that alignment naturally. Starting your this way transforms how you respond to life. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond thoughtfully. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you remain centered. Instead of chasing the day, you lead it. You begin to notice that you are more productive, more focused, and more at peace. Not because your circumstances have changed, but because your starting point has changed. Alignment is not something you achieve once. It is something you practice daily. Each morning is a new opportunity to reset, refocus, and realign yourself with what truly matters. And when you consistently start your day from that place, you begin to live with greater purpose, greater clarity, and a deeper sense of control over your life. Surrendering control is often misunderstood as weakness. when in reality it is one of the greatest demonstrations of strength. Human nature pushes us to hold on tightly to every detail of our lives. We want to predict outcomes, manage every situation, and ensure that nothing goes outside of our expectations. This desire for control can feel productive, but in many cases, it becomes the very thing that limits our growth. When you try to control everything, you end up exhausting your mind, draining your energy, and creating unnecessary stress. You become trapped in a cycle of overthinking and anxiety, constantly trying to figure out what comes next instead of actually moving forward. Letting go of control does not mean you stop taking responsibility. It means you recognize that there are limits to your ability to manage every outcome. It means you shift your focus from controlling results to following direction. This shift is powerful because it frees you from the pressure of having to know everything in advance. Instead of being paralyzed by uncertainty, you begin to move with trust and confidence even when the path is not fully clear. You understand that direction often reveals itself step by step, not all at once. When you surrender control, you create space for clarity. Control tends to cloud your judgment because it is often driven by fear. Fear of failure, fear of loss, or fear of the unknown. That fear can cause you to make decisions based on protection rather than purpose. But when you release that fear and loosen your grip, your perspective becomes clearer. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You become more open to guidance, more receptive to new ideas, and more willing to take meaningful steps forward. There is also a sense of peace that comes with surrender. The constant need to control everything creates tension within you. It keeps your mind restless and your emotions unstable. But when you let go, you release that tension. You no longer carry the burden of trying to force outcomes. Instead, you operate from a place of calm assurance, knowing that you are moving in the right direction, even if you cannot see the entire path. This peace strengthens your ability to remain steady in difficult situations because you are not easily shaken by things that are outside of your control. Surrendering control also builds resilience. When you are not fixated on a specific outcome, you become more adaptable. You learn to adjust, grow, and keep moving forward regardless of what happens. Setbacks no longer feel like failures. They become part of the process. You develop the confidence to trust the journey, knowing that every step is contributing to your growth. Choosing to surrender control is ultimately a decision to trust direction over domination. It is about releasing the need to force life to happen your way and embracing the wisdom of being guided. When you live this way, you begin to experience a new level of freedom, clarity, and purpose that cannot be achieved through control alone. Leading your day instead of reacting to it is the difference between living with intention and living by default. Most people wake up and immediately fall into reaction mode. They check their phones, absorb messages, scroll through updates, and allow external demands to dictate their mood and priorities. Before they even realize it, their day is no longer their own. It has been shaped by distractions, pressures, and expectations coming from the outside. This reactive way of living creates stress, confusion, and a constant sense of being behind. To lead your day, you must make a conscious decision to take ownership from the very beginning. Leadership starts with awareness. You recognize that if you do not define your day, something else will. Instead of waking up and immediately engaging with the world, you take a moment to center yourself. You set your intentions, clarify your priorities, and align your mindset with what truly matters. This simple shift changes everything because it places you in control of your focus rather than allowing your focus to be scattered. When you lead your day, your actions become deliberate. You are no longer moving based on urgency alone. You are moving based on purpose. You know what deserves your energy and what does not. This clarity helps you avoid unnecessary distractions and keeps you focused on meaningful progress. Instead of jumping from one task to another without direction, you move with structure and confidence. Your time is used wisely because it is guided by intention, not impulse. Reacting, on the other hand, is driven by emotion. When you are constantly reacting, your mood rises and falls based on what happens around you. A small problem can disrupt your entire day because you have not grounded yourself in stability. But when you lead your day, you develop emotional control. Challenges will still come, but they do not control you. You respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. You maintain your composure because your mindset is anchored before the challenges even appear. There is also a sense of empowerment that comes with leading your day. You begin to realize that you are not a victim of circumstances. You have the ability to influence your experience through your choices, your focus, and your attitude. This does not mean you can control everything, but it means you can control how you show up. And how you show up determines how you navigate everything else. Consistency is key in developing this habit. Leading your day is not a one-time decision. It is a daily practice. Each morning presents a new opportunity to take control, to reset your focus, and to approach life with intention. Over time, this practice builds discipline, strengthens your mindset, and increases your productivity. When you choose to lead your day, you step into a position of authority over your life. You stop being pushed around by circumstances and start moving with purpose and direction. Instead of chasing the day, you shape it. And in doing so, you create a life that is driven not by reaction, but by intention and purpose. In the end, your life will always move in the direction of what you trust, how you start, and who is truly in control. When you choose to trust beyond your understanding, commit to total trust, align your mind each morning, surrender the need to control everything, and lead your day with intention, you step into a higher level of living. You are no longer driven by fear, confusion, or pressure. You are guided by purpose, clarity, and confidence. This is not just motivation. This is a daily decision that shapes your future. So starting tomorrow morning, don't wake up the same way. Pause, realign, and make a conscious choice to trust fully and lead boldly. Refuse to react. Decide to take control of your mindset and direction. If this message spoke to you, carry it into action today, share it with someone who needs it, and commit to living each day with purpose and intention. Don't just hear this, live it. Starting with your next morning, trust fully, move boldly, and watch your life shift in ways you never imagined.